Scratching on the microphone. Scratching on the microphone.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We are back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I have no idea what it is, but something in my equipment setup turns my entire system solid green. All the screens go green. Everything goes green when I try to start a live stream. I thought it had to do with the software I was using. I switched software and it still did it. So what that tells me is my sugar mama about to buy me a whole nother computer that is only going to have my streaming software, hardware configuration on it. That way, hopefully we can eliminate this. When it happens, everything locks up. My screen turns green, not the blue screen of death that we're used to, but the whole screen turns green. And all I can do is shut it off, restart it, and try to bring everything back. But we're in there right now. So thank y'all for tolerating the technical difficulties as we go through this learning curve. It's your boy, Reggie B. Welcome back to another episode of Framly Talk. What's going on, Framly? Today is hump day. Tell me how it's been. Tell me where you checking in from. You been making the money today? Mike. Hump day. That commercial will forever be famous. I think it was Geico. Mike. Hump day. What day is it? What day is it? What's going on, y'all? Technical difficulties, but I thank y'all for bearing with me. This is day 2 trying out a new software, streaming software called StreamYard. And so far, I must say I like it. It gives me some capabilities that the other one, Riverside, did not give me. So far, I'm happy with it. Thank you all for hanging with me. Thank y'all for hanging with me. Let me see. Where did my comment section go? I think we got it. I think we got it. Got the comment section. Oh. Let me hit y'all with this new music I dug up. You know, I have to dig for free music. That way I don't get sued. Don't get that cease and desist letter. Tell me what y'all think about this. This is the one I used to rock with. This is the factory music. Got a nice little twist to it. This one's okay. This one's built into the system. But I decided to look for something a little different. I lately been hitting y'all with this one. I just like the nice mellow vibe to this one. I'm gonna keep this one. I'm not getting rid of it. But I got a nice mellow vibe with this one, and I like it. Check it out now. Check it out now. 1, 2. Uh. This one is nice. I like it. What's going on, Adria? I see you out there. Thanks for checking in with me. This one, I must say, is nice. But we got a new flavor on the music. Check this one out. Tell me what y'all think. I think this is going to be my favorite. I want to know what y'all think, though. Start out with that bass. Yeah. I like that. I'm putting the link to join the live broadcast in the comment section. For some reason, it's not letting me pin it like I want to, so it stays up top. Nope. It does not give me the option to pin it, and I don't like that. Let me take the freebie off. Nope, still doesn't give me the option to pin it. Like this. I like this. Just sound like a nice, cool jam session. Bunch of musicians around. Y'all know I'm not a musician, but I like to jam. So I'll add my little touch to it. As the beat rock, I'll just be like, That's my little touch. That's as far as I'm going. If I want to get fancy, see, I can stay on beat. That's about as far as I can go when it comes to being a musician. 2008, I spent time with around a bunch of musicians and vocalists, and I would always tell them, when we're in the car or in the truck, I will out-sing every last one of you all, even though I can't carry a note in the bucket. Y'all, the topic I want to talk about tonight are dating expectations. Let me lower this down just a little bit. I think I'm going to let it roll for a minute, though. Hopefully you can hear me without straining to hear while the music rolls in the background. Come on, Triple Deuce. You know this a package deal. My man Triple Deuce always tell me every time I post something, he go, "You just trying to drag me to hell with you, aren't you?" Bruh, the bus leaves at 7 sharp. When you get on the bus, you will be given your complimentary gasoline draws with kerosene tank top. And since most of y'all be laughing at the shit I post or sharing it, you will be given a honorary, complimentary, lighter fluid soaked Snuggie. Yes, the old school Snuggie. That's what you get for hanging with me. Do say tag, you're it. You going with me, bro? We gonna run things down there. First thing we're doing is installing AC. That's the first thing we're gonna do. We setting up AC, and we're gonna get the party going. The bus gonna pull up with the music blaring. Uh, y'all, let's talk about something. Let's talk about dating expectations. When I watch dating shows or I have conversations with people and they tell me about their struggles finding someone, that always seems to be the problem, finding that right person. I always ask people, what are you looking for? And quite often I'll get generalities like, oh, I'm just looking for a good person. Okay, that's a very vague term. Let's avoid platitudes. You know, somebody who'll give me the shirt off their back. Okay, that's a platitude. Let's be more specific. What does that look like in day-to-day life? When you're dating someone, what are you looking for? Where's this dating to lead? Is it to lead to marriage? Are you just looking for a friend? Are you looking for a friend with benefits? What is your end goal for a relationship? Do you start off dating with intention? When you're dating someone, if you enter that dating relationship, do you put a time limit on things? I see a lot of people in dating relationships that go on 5, 6, 7 years, and the answer is, "Oh yeah, we're in a relationship." And I'm going, "Okay, y'all been in a relationship 5 years. To what end? Where is this going? You all just going to be boyfriend, girlfriend? You know, if you're going for the common law thing, if that's what you're going for, fine. Just long as you all know and agree on it." FYI, Texas does not have a time requirement for their common law marriage requirement. A lot of people always think, oh, well, we have to be together 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Um, Texas does not have a time requirement. Let me pull it up and see if I can share that with you. Uh, 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 Trying to find the Texas requirements. I know of plenty of sites to pull it up on. Hmm. Okay, I got it. I am going to share with you the requirements for Texas to be in a common law marriage. Let's see what happens when I try to share my screen. Mm, 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 mm. I am looking for, boom, this one. Let me go ahead and make that full screen. That should be a full screen look for you. When it comes to being married in Texas, there are only a common law marriage, as people call it. There are only a few requirements. Let's get the basics out the way. You must be at least 18 years old to be common law married in Texas. You can't be related to each other. Some states will allow first cousins to get married if there's no possibility for children. Some states, you have to be second cousins or further to be married to each other. And in Texas, the third requirement of the basic information is not married to anyone else. So 18 years of age, not related to each other, and not married to anyone else. Now, a lot of people tend to name a lot of things when they talk about, oh, we common law, we've been together this many years, we have kids together. I'm going to go from here, stop sharing, and I'm going to put it up in a banner on the screen. That way you will be able to see it yourselves. Boom, here we go. Here are the requirements to be common law married in Texas. Each partner must agree to be married. After the marriage agreement, they must live together in Texas as a married couple. And the couple must represent to others that they are married. So, you know how a lot of people run around talking about, oh, yeah, that's my wife right there. Y'all not married legally on paper through the traditional process. Not saying you're not married in Texas. I'm just saying you're not married the traditional way that a lot of people tend to think of. And unfortunately, they don't know what the common law requirements are. And quite often people will think, oh, I've got years and years before I have to consider myself common law to this person. So, you see what the requirements are. It's real simple. You must agree to be married. 2, after the marriage agreement, you must live together in Texas as a married couple. And 3, you must represent as a couple to others that you are married. That's all it takes. And yes, you can get a common law divorce. This is not meant to be a law class. Please do not consider any information you get from me valid, as I am not an attorney. I don't even play one on TV, and I did not sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. But that's what it is. So as I'm talking to people, they say, hey, I just want to find my person. Okay, well, what does your person look like? What are the requirements to find your person? Well, quite often what I hear are some unrealistic or either just ultra petty requirements. I've heard this one way too many times. And ladies, I am sorry, this one mostly comes from you, ladies. You say a man must have a passport in order to date you. That's just to date you. You won't give that man a chance. If he doesn't have a passport, the way you all represent it is if he doesn't have a passport when you all meet, he's a no-go. He is automatically off limits. When I hear this one just makes me think, that's why your ass ain't got nobody, because you out here with these goofy ass requirements that really don't make a whole lot of sense. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want your person to have a passport. I get it. But if they must have a passport when they meet you, why? Okay, fine. They haven't traveled out of the country where they couldn't use a birth certificate before. Because you can leave the country on a birth certificate depending on what mode of travel you're doing. Or if you require a person to have a passport, instead of saying, I won't date a person without a passport, and I'm not trying to get anybody to change their standards. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you what I hear that just makes no sense to me sometimes. Maybe if you said if the person has to be able to qualify to get a passport, because if you behind on child support, you ain't getting no passport. If you owe the IRS some money because you claimed somebody's kid on your taxes and they found out, then now sent you a bill, good luck getting a passport. It's going to be a little complicated for you. So maybe if the requirement was simply be able to get a passport. And the reason why this one rubs me the wrong way so bad, you could meet a really nice person, but if you have that shallow requirement that they must have a passport from day one, all I sit and think is, that's 6 weeks. Go to the post office, fill out the application, take it to the post office with your appointment, and you got a passport in 6 weeks. You can even pay to have it expedited. Is that really a reason not to date somebody? To even make them eligible that they don't have a passport? Is that really a reason to knock somebody off the list. Triple Deuce said if they are not disqualified, exactly. If they can get a passport, that makes sense to me. They have to be able to get a passport. Like I said, if you owe a bunch of child support and you're in arrears, you're probably not getting a passport. Your application will be shot down. From what I have seen and heard from people in the past. If you have a civil judgment against you that you have not paid, that may even stop you from getting a passport. I had a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit against somebody, and they had not paid it. So technically the judgment, was still outstanding. Well, they went to get a passport because they wanted to travel with the new significant other and all that other stuff. Guess what? They were told, nope, you have a civil judgment out there. So, Triple Deuce, you said if they are not disqualified, exactly. I'm with you. That makes sense. If a person can apply and get a passport, you talking 6 weeks. In the first 6 weeks of dating, y'all likely not going out of town together. No way. Not out of town, but out of the country. No way. Where a passport would really matter. So why? I guess it's just ultra petty to me to use that as a blockade to stop somebody that you would consider dating just because they can't get a passport. And let's just be honest. Let's talk about this for a minute. Most of the people who talking about, oh, I love to travel. Okay, you like to hop on a cruise ship. You can get on a cruise ship most of the time in the US that's coming back to the US with a birth certificate. Will you have to stand in a longer line when it's time to process to come back in the country? Yeah, the line's a little bit longer, but you still get to do it. So at best, if y'all not planning on going to Barcelona together, or going to Germany or going to the Olympic Games in Paris, does a person have to have a passport the day you meet them? Are you really losing anything by saying, okay, hey, I like you. I'm enjoying our first and second date, but I noticed one of the questions I asked you was, do you have a passport? You said no. I asked you, did you qualify to get a passport? And we talked about some of the things that can disqualify you from getting a passport. You said none of those things apply to you. Hey, would you do me a favor and go ahead and apply for a passport? Boom, problem solved. You're right, Triple Deuce. Triple Deuce said, depending on the country, you may not be able to disembark. And that is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. I just think that's a straight petty reason not to date somebody. And I mean, this isn't, oh, well, they could never get a passport or they just don't want one. They don't want to travel. This is, you are eliminating somebody right off the rip. I just think that's crazy. I want you all to share in the comment section, join the live stream, and tell me some of the reasons you've heard people say they will not date somebody. Laura pointed out something exactly the feelings I have on it. Let me share Laura's comment with you. To me, in the first 6 weeks, you are not going anywhere. Oops, wrong one. See if it'll copy this time. Boom. First 6 weeks, are you really going anywhere with somebody? You just getting to know them. Y'all still doing local stuff, or you may go out of town for, let's just say, Mardi Gras or something like that. But that's within the states. You don't need a passport for that. Why do you need one so early in the dating process? Now, I will say, date or traveling with someone is one of the best ways to get to know somebody. If you are not a person who wants to live with somebody before you date them, but you want to get to know them, travel with them. Somebody said this to me once, and I have nothing but praise for the comment. Travel with somebody if you want to figure out what they are like. You get to see all aspects of a person's personality by traveling with them. You get to see how they treat people in the hospitality industry. You get to see their level of organization when it comes to traveling, planning. You get a real good glimpse into somebody's finances without asking any questions. Or you can see whether they're faking it really well when it comes to traveling with somebody. So this whole thing about a person has to have a passport, and this is mostly from ladies. I hear this. I've never heard this from a man. I have never heard this comment from a man. I'm not saying men don't make this comment, but I have never heard this comment from a man. That I've always heard women say a man must have, or I've heard several women say a man must have a passport to even go out with you. I just think that's crazy. We got my man in the comments section, Holla Bill. What up, Holla Bill? He clowning us. I'm gonna tell y'all why he clowning us. Holla Bill said, I'm curious what this person's passport even looks like. Exactly. First of all, not many places are really stamping passports nowadays. In most places you go, I shouldn't say most places, in quite a few places. When I've traveled out the country, I have to go and ask for a stamp if I want my passport stamped. But when people tell me, oh, you must have a passport if you want to date me, my response is, okay, where have you traveled to internationally? Y'all know what the answers typically are. Oh, I went to Jamaica. I went to the Bahamas. I went to the Virgin Islands. I got on a cruise ship. We went to Cozumel, Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, some of those answers, some of those types of things. And the people I do want to slap are the people going, ooh, I'm going to Puerto Rico. I got to get my passport. No lie. This is a real story. This is a real story. This is a real story. Lady in the elevator talking about, ooh, I got to go get shots. And it's like, shots? Oh, I'm getting ready to go out the country. Oh, okay, cool. Where you going? Puerto Rico. You need shots to go to Puerto Rico? Yeah. And she was just so happy. You know, this is all I could do. I didn't have the heart to break it to her that, you know, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. It's no different than going to Florida. If you're going to Puerto Rico, you don't need special shots. You don't need a passport. Triple Deuce said that's because we're trying to go to Costa Rica or the DR. You know, we have an increasing number of people getting passports so they can go to the DR. But a lot of those ladies who do that are, plenty of them are going to Punta Cana to travel, to party, do it up. I know people who got timeshares over there. Great, no problem. But there's also a lot of people who are going to get body modification. They're going to get that cheap BBL. Brazilian butt lift, if you don't know what I'm talking about. That's when some of them come back with these asses so big that don't match their legs. They almost look like they're half centaur because you look at their ass and then just this ass came out of nowhere. Who was it? Nelly said, is that your ass or your mama half reindeer? But okay, enough of the passport thing. Y'all get my point. I think that's just a ludicrous reason not to date somebody. Here is the second dumbest reason not to date somebody. I mean, just to completely eliminate them from your dating pool, which I have heard from multiple women, multiple meaning at least two. You must have TSA pre-check. TSA pre-check is what, like $85 for 5 years? You gonna not date a person because one, y'all ain't traveling nowhere anytime soon, not likely. Or if you do, because you could be traveling in the US to some destination. Okay, I'll give you that. Let me take that off the table. I will give you that. But because a person doesn't have TSA pre-check, you won't date them. Okay, fine. Is TSA pre-check easier to get through? Absolutely. Do you have to get violated and almost molested when you go through pre-check? Nope. You ain't got to take no shoes off. You ain't got to take no belt off. And granted, I love TSA pre-check. I went to the airport the other day. The line was long. I admit the line to get through TSA was long. The TSA pre-check line was short. I didn't even have to stop when I got there. It was just a nonstop boop boop. I get it. It's convenient. But if somebody doesn't have TSA pre-check, you know how quick it is to get that? We can get TSA pre-check for, like I said, I think it's under $100. I think it's under $100 and it lasts like 5 years. It is not that complicated. So I'm down. Okay, get TSA pre-check. I get it. But is that a reason not to date somebody? Because they don't have a passport or TSA pre-check? Come on, people. It is not that complicated. Oh my God. My partner who gonna help me set it off down below in purgatory. He's got a good point. There's some other things we can say about it. But when you got the BGs, it's a lifesaver. For those who don't know what the BGs are, look it up on Urban Dictionary. It probably is going to tell you it's the bubble guts. You know, when your stomach is like bloop bloop, some people get a little upset. The stomach get upset when they travel. So I get it. So yeah, it can help then when you're trying to, get through real quick. But that's just when you're leaving to get on your flight. I get it. When you're leaving to get on your flight, you save, even let's just say it saves you 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Is that a reason not to date somebody? Just because they don't have TSA pre-check? Come on. I think it's crazy, but my man Holla Bill said, I don't know. Orlando Airport, she gonna leave me anyway, because I ain't waiting in that regular line with her. I'll buy it for her. There you go, Holla Bill. My man Holla Bill said, baby, if you don't have TSA pre-check, I will get you TSA pre-check. I will sign you up. Hopefully you can qualify. Again, they're going to do a little background check, make sure you ain't got no issues. Hopefully you can qualify. That won't stop you from flying, but it does make the experience a lot more pleasant. I must say that. That's got to be a gift we can start giving people. Hey, you ain't got TSA pre-check? Baby, that's what I got you for Christmas. Boom. Now you got to take her somewhere. But I've never heard a man say he wouldn't date a woman who didn't have TSA pre-check. But I have heard several women say that. And when I say I've heard them say it, I've heard some people, they kind of tried to make it sound like tongue in cheek, like they were joking, but they were dead ass. I've seen dating shows where people will say this: I will not date somebody who doesn't have a passport or somebody who doesn't have TSA pre-check. Oh my God, my boy, my man, my brother from another mother. He getting to the important stuff here. He is getting to the important stuff. He said, "You cutting into my drinking time." I can dig it. I can dig it because that's what you want to do. Is you want to get through all the TSA. That way, you got plenty of time for your flight. I can dig it. I can dig it. But man, that is no reason for me not to date a woman. Now, let's talk about things that I think are very, very reasonable because I put it out there. I've asked the question to some people. And one of the biggest things that I've heard a lot of people say, and this is men and women, they won't date somebody with messed up credit. Your credit history it affects your ability to get a job, a bank account, car loan, mortgage, all of those things. So that is very reasonable. I get it. Make sure your credit is right. Clear up whatever that is. Most of y'all still owe Columbia House for them 12 CDs for a penny back in the day. Y'all hoping it fell off your record by now. Some of y'all just knew y'all wasn't going to pay them the moment you ordered them CDs. Columbia House still looking for some folks. But we got to come up with realistic dating expectations so we can get people together. The marital rate is so low right now. It is bad. I want to see more people married. Part of what I started this podcast for was because I wanted to do things to help people get married. And one of the things is these what I consider to be unrealistic dating expectations. Triple Do say, "Why you putting my business out there?" Hey fam, I love you, baby. Let's get some realistic dating standards. There are plenty of reasons not to date somebody. You got crappy credit. Ugh. You cute, but I ain't gonna be able to do it, especially at this point in my life. That I get. I get it. You know, if you tell me it's from medical bills because you had some, tragic medical situation that you just weren't able to pay, I get it. I can understand that. I can understand that a lot better than you just decided you weren't going to pay people. Because there are plenty of people who like to get all these things on credit, have all this fun on credit, but they don't want to pay for the fun they've already had. It's a lack of discipline and a lack of just good judgment. And they feel like, oh, well, that ain't going to catch up to me. You get an apartment with somebody, your significant other, y'all will have a breakup and everybody trying to move out the apartment, but you still got a lease. So now you got a broken lease on your credit. Those types of things, yeah. Consequences and repercussions. Consequences and repercussions. It is difficult to deal with. Oh my God, Triple Deuce, you stupid. Triple Deuce said, I got a 400 credit score, but I got benefits. First of all, he lying his ass off. That's my boy. That's my boy. But I know he lying his ass off. Fix your credit. Especially once you're talking about people over 35, over 40 years old, fix your credit. And this isn't me passing judgment. This is me encouraging you to stop doing things that is making your life harder, that is costing you more money. First off, I admit our school system should be teaching high school kids. Here are the 6 factors that impact your credit. This is how you tell what's in a credit score. This is how you manage credit. These are the parameters around credit. You got a nice car, but it's at 29% interest. Now, do you have a car? Yes, I'm happy for you. But man, manage your credit. That is a valid reason I can dig to stop you from dating somebody. Now, one of the things I got from a young lady earlier today was she said a reason she cannot date somebody is dirty fingernails. If his fingernails are dirty, he gets no chance. His approach, boom, gets shot down. She Dikembe Mutombo when he shoot his shot. She said if his fingernails dirty, he gets no chance. What does that man do for work? You ain't even found out what type of job he has. Maybe he's an actual mechanic, a man who does something with his hands. You know, if his fingernails dirty, you can't fix something like that. If the man, you know, if it's not a work-related issue where he's, you know, working on cars every day, you know, do something nice. Acts of service, a love language of acts of service. If that's your man and he got dirty fingernails, go, baby, I like you, but my OCD won't let me get past these dirty fingernails. Allow me to clean those up for you. This will be part of one of my love languages to you, acts of service. Hopefully this will be a way you receive my act of service as an act of service to you. Clean them fingernails up. Show them how to clean them up. Tell them, baby, I want you to put them hands all over me. I just need those nails to be clean because I can't get past that. Is that not something we can fix with a person? See, this is what I'm talking about. This right here. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Girl, I love you for this. I love you for this. Amanda said, baby, give me them nails. I got you. I'm going to fix you right up. Get him the little nail brush. Get him the little kit. Bring them home and do like they used to do back in the day. Get a bowl of Palmolive. Madge, I soaked in it. That's real old for y'all who remember that commercial. Put them fingers in there. Clean them fingers up. You know, if he working 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day, tell him he ain't getting none unless he clean them fingernails. I bet you that man will clean them fingernails real good. You'll be able to look at them fingernails and be like, oh my God, baby, that's nice. I like that. Take him and get a pedicure. Take him and get a manicure. Something. Let's not let something that's easily fixable prevent you from finding the person to give you love, the person who's going to be there for you when you get sick, the person when you come down with a case of COVID and it's kicking your behind, the person, you know, who going to go get you some Chick-fil-A chicken noodle soup, you know, if you ain't feeling well. Let's stop letting these things be reasons we don't find love. I just think it's silly. That's just me. Let's hit a sensitive topic now. Let's move this over to a sensitive topic. Nowadays, it's funny. When I watch dating shows, a lot of people say they want somebody who makes $100,000 minimum to be able to date them. That's the minimum? $100,000? First thing I'm going to say, Biggie Small said it. More money, more problems. Just because everybody let's just say that person does make $100,000. Let's say they make $150,000. That doesn't necessarily mean they know how to manage it. But if you cutting somebody off before you even figure out if they know how to manage it, or if they even don't make $150,000, they make $90,000, but your cutoff is $100,000. That's kind of unrealistic when the average income is not $100,000. If you watch some of these dating shows, you will think the average income in the US is $100,000 because everybody seems to have that. And let me back up. Let me be more clear about something. The statement that just makes my skin crawl when I hear 6 figures. What's the minimum amount of money a man must make to date you? 6 figures. Okay, what does that mean? They got to make at least 6 figures. Oh, okay, well, there's a big spectrum there. Well, they just need to make 6 figures. Okay, what you're telling me is you barely even understand what this means. It's a phrase you've heard on a dating show or you've heard it on social media. You heard it on a TV show you were watching, and you've got this phrase stuck in your head. We're talking $100,000 even to $999,999.99. That is six figures. So when you say that, does the person just need to crack 100 and you're okay with that? Or do they need to make more than that? So let's have some realistic conversations when we talk about how much money a person needs to make. Saying they just need to make six figures doesn't really tell me much, because that's a huge spectrum. Laura said, can he afford to pay his bills? Does he have good benefits? Does he like his job? Those are the important things. A person being in a household with somebody who doesn't like their job, when they come home, you catching hell. So you better hope I prefer somebody who's making less money, but they got a job that they actually like, and they don't come home angry about it. And, they come home in a funk, and they wake up in the morning in a funk because they're like, oh, I don't want to go to this damn job. It pays me $100,000, but I hate it and I'm miserable and it affects my whole family. That's just my thought. So let's clarify what that means. Since everybody seems to want $100,000 salary, and I'm going to put this one on the ladies, because most of the dating shows simply are ladies. There's more women in the country than men. Couple million more ladies than men. And most of the people calling into a dating show are female. This is not me picking on y'all. This is not me being mean to y'all. This isn't some red pill discussion. This isn't some manosphere discussion. This is just who shows up mostly at dating shows. When they say, a man has to make $100,000, some reasonable questions that men ask, okay, do you make $100,000? We got the hypergamy thing. If a lady makes $100,000, she tends to want to make more. She wants a man who makes more money than her. She tends to want a man who's taller than her. I get it. I can understand, kind of wanting somebody that you feel like, you all have a similar salary, maybe a similar lifestyle, but you don't know that if you just cut them off and say, oh, well, you don't even make $100,000, but that person could still be moving, especially when I hear this from young people. A man does not hit his financial stride until later in the game, just like a woman does. You hit your financial stride later in life, but you cannot be expecting a 30-year-old man, a 35-year-old man to be making $100,000. That is just not the norm. Does it happen? Yes, but we're not talking about the extreme ends of the bell curve. That's just not the norm. We're talking about men in their 50s who are hitting that $100,000 mark. Late 40s, 50s who are hitting that $100,000 mark. Do plenty of ladies make that? Yes, but it's less than the amount of men. Women simply make less money than men. That's a whole nother discussion, but it is a general fact that we can agree to. Ladies tend to make less money than men, even if they're doing the exact same job. That's a whole nother discussion. However, if the requirement is a man must make $100,000, okay, let's talk about that. What is that man getting for that $100,000? When I watch the dating shows, I see the common requirement, number one, usually from ladies that I hear, especially ladies of color, he has to be God-fearing. Okay, that is your number one requirement. No further discussion if he is not God-fearing. This is not a religious debate. This is not pros and cons of any particular religion. That's not what we're doing here. But I hear that one quite often. No further discussion if he is not God-fearing. My question is, why didn't you go to church and find a man? If he has to be God fearing, why did you not go to church to find a man? I can answer that question because there's not many men in church. Religious affiliation data shows that people are leaving the church, all denominations, in droves nowadays. It's 2024. It's, 40 years ago, the numbers were higher, but people are losing religious affiliation. So there's not as many people going to church. Then when you get to church, you got plenty of couples in church. Okay. There's not a whole lot of single men, sitting around church going, "Ooh, I'm waiting to find the right woman." If you're not finding that at church, do you really expect to go to a club or bar, and find somebody who's going to meet that top requirement? Is it possible? Yes. Will plenty of people say, "Yes, I believe in God," or "Yes, I believe, in a higher power," or whatever that may be? But does that match what you mean when you say they must be God fearing? Because I ask people, okay, what does that look like when you say you want a person who's God fearing? Some people will say, "Oh, he just has to believe in God." Okay, you can find a whole bunch of men who believe in God, especially men of color. You can find men of color who believe in God all day long. That's one thing Black people got on lock: Jesus. Now, if you mean you want a man to go to church with you every Sunday, and go on Wednesday for prayer night, go on early Sunday morning for Bible study, that's different. Describe what you're looking for, not just saying, "I want a man who's God fearing." Talk about what you're looking for. "I want a man who's going to pray with me. I want a man who's going to lead prayer every night at the dinner table. I want a man who's going to lead prayer every night before we go to bed. I want a man who's going to wake up every morning and pray for me." Decide what that looks like in the lifestyle that you want and put that out there versus saying, "I'm just looking for a man who's God fearing." So let's get past that. Let's go to this money deal. Back to this money deal. When people say, "Oh, you got to make six figures," okay, fine, $100,000. I saw a meme the other day, and true enough, it was a meme. However, the sentiment I have seen, the guy in the meme made $103,000, and the woman was ridiculing him. And it's like, he make more money than most people. He's in the top 10% earning bracket, and you essentially shitting on that because it's only $103,000. And is that his final salary that he's ever going to make? People, I shouldn't say people. I'll get to the people part. People want ready-made people. They don't want people that they have to do work with. They want somebody who's already 100% put together with their TSA pre-check, with their passport. They don't want to have to do no work. They want to just slide right on into a relationship that's got everything they want. They want to, ladies, you want a man, from what you say, you want a man who already is at that income. Now, we're going to put this disclaimer out there. For the men who have a problem if their woman makes more money than them, that's on y'all. I got nothing for you. I get it. You want to make more money than her because you feel like you need to lead. Okay, fine. If you can lead without making more money than her, but if that's your thing, okay, I'm not getting ready to try to knock you for that. But I don't get the thing where men go, "Oh, she can't make more money than me because that messes with my ego." That's your ego's problem, not hers. Get your money up then. Date within your tax bracket then. So Deuce, you killing me. You want a bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Shout out to Jasmine Crockett. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. That is our hero of the day. But these folks who say, oh, you know, he got to make $100,000 for me to even have anything to do with him, I just think y'all are kind of tripping. Let's do something here. Let me share something with you. Share one of my screens, and hopefully it's a good view. You all see this screen? I need to make sure it's on your end. Need to make sure it popped up good. This is from blackdemographics.com. Men, full-time, average salary, $50,000 for a black man. If we're talking white man, that's closer to 70. But a man, $50,000. That is the average. That is the average. We're not talking about the extremes of the bell curve. Women working full-time, $44,000. How the hell did we get to the point that everybody has to make $100,000? Or all these women saying, oh, you know, my man, he got to make $100,000 for me to even consider dating him. This is what the average salary is. Get your broke ass with his broke ass, and y'all put y'all money together and make a great life. It is just not that complicated. Why is this so damn hard that you have to have somebody making $100,000? Is it nice? Sure. But that's not what the norm is. And here's a little hint. If you're looking for somebody who makes $100,000, a whole bunch of people looking for that person. A whole bunch of people are looking for that person who makes that $100,000. So here's what the averages are. 50,000 for men, black men, 44,000 for black women. 55 white females, right at 70 white males. This is what the numbers are. There are consequences and repercussions when everybody is demanding a 6 foot tall, $100,000 minimum, 6-inch penis man. The consequence is he got a whole bunch of people wanting him. And when I talk to women, quite often I'll ask them this same question. Will you compete for a man? And most of the women say, no, I will not compete for a man. He must meet me and accept me and like me as I am. Okay. There are plenty of other women who are willing to compete for him. But you have to think about it. If you asking for what's at the top, are you willing to compete for that? And if you're not, are you okay with the outcome of not competing? You might get lucky and find somebody. But the marital rate for black women is 27%. 27%. Men, black men is a little bit higher. But 27%. Less than 30% chance, you right there at 25%, 1 in 4. I think that's because everybody got to have a passport before you can even talk to them. You got to have TSA pre-check, and you got to make $100,000 at 6'3" with 11 inches of limp dick. Is it? Everybody can't get everybody at the top. We talked about this in a podcast recently. Men know where we fall. Life has been so cruel, straightforward, and direct with us. We know where we fall in the looks category. We know where we fall in the finance category. We know where we fall in every category. And life has not allowed us to forget one time. Because men, we just get told, get your money up. I can't stand when I hear this phrase, but ladies say this a lot. If you broke, just say you broke. What? You asked me to buy you a drink and I declined. Well, if you broke, just say you broke. No, I'm not broke because I don't go around begging bitches a drink. That's why I'm not broke. I can't stand hearing that one. If you broke, just say you broke. My money is right, but I don't have to prove it to your broke ass who I don't know. Amanda says she's going to work and asking for a raise. She looked at them averages and was like, nah, y'all got to come up off some more money. She works hard. I know that for a fact. That is my fam. Oh my God. Family, she puts it down. She works hard. Multiple jobs. She ain't never got to worry about asking nobody for nothing because she will do it her damn self. So I can dig it. I can dig it. But let's get realistic in what we are looking for in our dating environment. It's more women than there are men. Men, we have more options. Ladies, that means the competition is a little tighter. I don't want to hear this crap about, oh, well, there's so many men who are gay or down low or whatever. You got the same thing with women. We got plenty of women out here licking coochie. So the gay men, the gay women, they cancel each other out. Women be quick to tell you, oh, I'm not bisexual. You just experimented back in college or that one time at band camp. If a man had done that one time, according to society standards, if a man has any type of sexual contact with a man one time, according to most women I talk to, he's gay. There is no, oh, well, he just was experimenting or he just tried it out or anything else. That just means he's gay. Women, y'all can go back and forth, do threesomes and all that. It's just two different sets of rules. That's just the way it is. Two different sets of rules. And I've lived by those rules. I've accepted those rules. Society has never let me know or never failed to let me know where I stood. So it is what it is. So let's try and get some realistic dating standards. Let's try not to make it so hard to find love. Let's be willing to stay in a relationship quicker than we are to walk away from one. I'm not telling you to stay in a situation where you're being abused, where you're being mistreated. Just put the work in. Hopefully you have someone who's willing to put the work in. I said this the other day and I will stick to this. Man, we got to stop lying to women. If we want some pussy, let's just say, hey, I'm trying to see what that mouth do. You can be respectful about it. You can clean it up, however you want to say it. But if all you want is some pussy, just say so. That reduces a lot of drama. That reduces a lot of time wasted. And quite often, you still gonna get the pussy you asking for if you just ask for it nicely and be honest about what you want. We in a hookup culture. Everybody fucking. I'm not saying that makes people bad, that it just is what it is. We got so many people fucking. I was watching TV earlier and a woman had two men getting DNA tested and she said, it's one of you all's baby because I was sleeping with both of y'all at the same time. I think it's his because the baby looked just like him. Turns out it was neither one of their baby. Have all the fun you want. My public service announcement, my family service announcement is please stop making dating so hard. I want to see everybody happy and everybody ain't looking for marriage, but I hope everybody finds that love, that relationship. And for me, it's marriage, but for you, it may not be. But I hope everybody finds that long-term relationship that you can sit on the porch with somebody and spend the rest of your days. You can travel with. Everybody's talking about they want to travel nowadays. Okay, fine. You got that traveling buddy. You got that person who financially got your back. You got their back. You got somebody you can provide those acts of service. You can display your love languages. They have their love languages to receive your love. I hope everybody can find that. So for now, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Just know I want the best for everybody. I want everybody to find love. I want everybody to find happiness. I want everybody to have peace at home. 2 incomes are better than 1. TSA pre-check, 6 weeks. Passport, 6 weeks. We can solve that. Dirty fingernails, 10 minutes in the bathroom. Please don't cut somebody off for simple reasons and expect them to be 100% whole when most of the time we all got some issues we can work on. That's it for tonight, y'all. Much love. We'll get with y'all again soon. We out.